Hi and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to show you how to do mature skin makeup, and like all of my videos, we're going to jump right in. Now that I'm 57, skin prep is one of the most important things for getting my makeup to actually look good. So here are my steps. I cleanse, I tone, I apply a light serum, a little bit of eye cream, and a face cream. I let each layer soak in and dry. Then the last step is to apply my sunscreen all over my face, my neck, my ears, and the back of my neck. The sunscreen that I'm using is actually going to double as a primer for my makeup, with the exception of my nose, which can turn into a greasy, slimy mess. To prevent that oil slick, I'm going to use an oil control spray primer just on my nose where I need it. And it's also going to minimize my nose pores. Now that my face is properly prepped, I can pretty much wear any kind of foundation that I feel like at this point because I can make it look good. My preference is for very thin foundation though. Thin foundations are just going to be so much less likely to cake up, crease up, and just look too thick and yucky. And that's pretty much a rule of thumb as I get older, is that products really need to be thinner. And if they're not thin enough, then I need to thin them out. One thing I want you to notice is that I'm not bringing this up underneath my eyes. I'll add a tiny bit of concealer last, but I don't want to add another layer of makeup under my eyes first. Now that my skin tone is evened out, I'm ready to add a little color to my face, and I'm going to start with a cream bronzer. What ends up being so beautiful about this is that it's a matte bronzer, so it just adds color and kind of brings my face to life more without adding shimmer and making me look older. I feel like I get the most natural look if I focus on my cheeks and a little bit on my forehead, almost like a contour. And then I'm going to take it right over top of my nose, just like the sun would naturally hit that area. Then I'm going to use the same blender and I'm going to grab some of my Berry Love blush by Sigma Beauty. And that's going to get focused on the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to go over that top of my nose again and blend a little bit on my forehead just so it looks like a cohesive look. Until it comes to my eye makeup and my lipstick, my day-to-day looks are usually very natural looking. I tend to get a little shiny down the center of my face and I don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to use a little bit of powder to take care of that. This is the Laura Mercier setting powder, and it's got a little bit of blur in it, which I absolutely adore. Where I live, we're moving into springtime quickly, followed by warm summers. I have several different favorite eyebrow products, but normally when we're getting warm, I tend to stick with things that are completely waterproof and smudge-proof. So today I've chosen my iMethod Beauty Brow Stamp Kit. It comes with everything you need to do brows, and I am using a brush today instead of the little dabber that comes in the kit. And the reason for that is that my little ball fell off when I was trying to clean it, which is really perfect because I wanted to tell you about using a brush with this instead anyway. I've been using these type kits for probably 3 years now. And the problem with pomade is that it can get too thick and look really yucky and streaky and just be a real mess. But the benefits of using it is that once you get it on and it looks right, it's not going anywhere until you remove it at night. So you can work out, you can jump in the pool, you can get splashed, and your eyebrows aren't going to just disappear. And the interesting thing is that if you use an eyeshadow brush, this actually goes on really light, very naturally, smooth, no streakies, and it's gorgeous. Just remember, you only have so much time to play with it, and then it's going to set up, and then it's not going to budge. So work quickly. Now that they're done, we can move on to a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm going to prep my lids with a little bit of concealer. The only reason I'm doing it this way today is that I'm seeing a lot of discoloration on my eyelid, and I want to do light makeup, so I want to be able to see the colors that I apply better. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of that blurring setting powder just to give it a nice, smooth basis for what I'm going to apply next. And I'm really not even using eyeshadow today. I'm using my matte bronzer in medium by Sigma. I love matte bronzers. I don't care if it's a cream or a powder. I just love them. They're so easy to use, and you can use them for so many different things. And you can see how light and natural this is. This is why I wanted to apply the concealer to my lid. And it's kind of like the difference between starting a coloring picture on a dirty piece of paper or a nice bright white piece of paper. The colors are going to show up so much better on the bright white piece of paper. Now I've got the tiny brush, the same matte bronzer in medium, and I'm just dusting it straight under my eye, using it as an eyeshadow to define the eye. Remember, we don't have any concealer under there, so it's just sunscreen and then the matte bronzer. I don't care if you have a crinkled, wrinkled eyelid. If you want to put shimmer on it, then I want you to do it. I don't want you to be scared to try new things because somebody on YouTube said, don't ever put this here. What I wish they would say is get the right kind of shimmer that looks good on mature skin. That would be so much more accurate. Moving right along, NYX just sent me 3 of their Epic Wear Waterproof Eyeliner sticks. That first color is the Chill Blue. Then we've got Emerald Cut and Magenta Shock. I have to be really honest for a minute. When I first saw these, I thought, why did they send me these colors? Why would you send me blue, green, and magenta? But then I remembered this is the fun part, trying something new every now and then. Not getting stuck with the same old colors over and over and over. Of course, it's great to wear colors that you know look good on you. But that also doesn't mean to never try anything new because it might not look perfect. Now, before I forget what I'm talking about, let me tell you about these really quickly. They're only around $9. They are waterproof, 36-hour wear. They have 33 shades. They're also fade proof and smudge proof. One thing that was really nice about these is that they're nice and creamy and they glide across the skin without pulling it. And many of you know I'm not a huge eyeliner fan anymore, but I actually enjoyed these and I will be using them for a pop of color in my looks from now on. Now I'm looking in the mirror and I realize that I need a little bit more balance on the top of my eye since I applied the makeup under my eyes. So we're just going to use a little bit of that matte bronzer that I had before and tap it above my crease. The easiest way to tell if you need to add a little bit more on a hooded eyelid is to have the person look directly ahead, or if it's you, just look straight ahead in the mirror. And if all of your contour color has disappeared, you need to bring it up a little higher, at least high enough to where it will frame the eyes when they're looking straight ahead. And you can see what I mean with my eye closed. It's way up there where I have to put my contour. And let's just blend that into that eyeshadow right there. And let's do some lashes. I believe it is essential to curl your lashes if you want to get a lifted look. I typically curl once, twice, 3 times until my lashes will actually stand up. And I try to vary where I curl on my lash so that I end up with more of a curled look and not a crimped look. Even if you just wear light mascara, this really opens up the eye. I personally think it's especially pretty to get a nice lash on top for hooded eyes. And if you have hooded or sagging eyes and you get that smudging from mascara, you just need a tubing mascara. I'm using the one by Tarte, but there are tubing mascaras out by tons of companies now. e.l.f. even has a new one that's a very budget-friendly one. I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet because it's sold out everywhere. But tubing mascaras are fantastic because they don't smudge or smear. So if you like to coat your lashes underneath your eye, you can do that without any smudging. And it doesn't matter if you perspire, they still stay on. And these are great because if you have that skin that literally rests on your lashes, you can still wear mascara and it won't smudge onto your lid. And then to remove it, it just comes off with warm water and a little bit of pressure. Now, do you see where I got that little bit of mascara right there next to my inner eye? We're just going to let that dry. And then once we're sure it's dry, we'll take a little brush and it'll just flake right off. You should be able to do this if you make a mistake with any type of mascara. The Tarte Tubing Mascara is pretty expensive, but well worth it. Look at those lashes. And I have tiny little short lashes. Then we're going to add a shimmering lip plumper. I love matte lipsticks, but adding a light color shimmer to mature lips is really magical. Especially if you have dry lips or you feel like they're a little shriveled up or just have those little imperfections in different places. Shimmer just fills all those places in and makes your lips look more plump and juicy. Maybelline makes a clear lip liner. So if you're concerned that your lipstick will creep into the little fine lines around your mouth, just grab one of those. They're like $6 or something. I prefer the crayon over the one that twists up because it's thinner and it breaks more easily. Okay, we're finally to the concealer. Now remember, what I've got under my eyes so far is a little bit of sunscreen, a little bit of powdered bronzer, and a tiny amount of eyeliner. No foundation is under my eyes. I'm thinning out my concealer with a little bit of setting spray on my brush, and then I'm taking the tiniest amount of concealer ever, and I'm just brushing and patting it right underneath the eyeliner that I've put on. Today I'm using one of my favorites. It's the Estee Lauder Longwear Concealer. It's important to use a crease-free formula to begin with, but when you add a little bit of setting spray to your brush, it's actually going to help it thin out just a little bit and also set it in place a little better. Remember back to the beginning of the video where I said that I used a very thin foundation, and I feel like the thinner your makeup is as you get older, the easier it is to apply it and make it look good. I'm using my favorite Skindinavia setting spray. To me, this is the best there is. It doesn't bother my skin. It looks amazing. I'm going to actually use this here in a minute all over my face, and then you'll see what that looks like as well. There are many types of setting spray on the market. Some of them are alcohol-free, so if you're afraid that it will dry you out, you can opt for those. I've never had a problem with setting spray drying my face out. And using it under my eyes would be the place that it would dry me out first. So back to the beginning of the video, if you've prepped your skin well, you should be able to apply thin makeup and make it look really good. And it doesn't matter if you have wrinkles, big pores, or any of that. You should still be able to apply it and make it look good for whatever age, however your face looks today. Let's do the best we can with what we have and not worry about the rest. Now let's lock this look in place all day. I'm just misting my face with that setting spray and using a little handheld fan to help it dry fast. I love using setting spray, especially during very hot weather. It keeps my makeup in place, nothing smudges or smears, it lasts all day, and it prevents the makeup from creasing. And that is how I do mature skin makeup. Tap view products on the video for products that I used, and if you can't find it there, check the description and the top pinned comment. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to subscribe to this beautiful community full of amazing people. I'm currently located in Alabama, which is the southern part of the United States. I'd love to hear where you're watching from. Don't be shy, make sure you say hi, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care for now, my friends.